What is up, cinephiles? Welcome back to Screen Kings. For today's video, I'll be doing a non-spoiler review of the Disney fantasy adventure film called Jungle Cruise, directed by Jaume Collet-Serra. This one is now showing in theaters, if theaters are open around your area. Else, the second option for you would have to be to go see this through Disney Plus via Premier Access. The movie stars Emily Blunt as Dr. Lily Houghton, an adventurous scientist who's out to find the elusive and mysterious petal of an Amazonian tree called Tears of the Moon, which is said to believe to heal any kind of illness, and she will be accompanied by this riverboat captain named Frank, aka Skipper, played by Dwayne Johnson. Quick reminder guys, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please do so by hitting that subscribe button if you're down for weekly reviews of movies and TV shows, and while you're at it, give this video a like because it really helps the channel. Now, I'm gonna be honest here, going into this movie, I don't have the biggest expectations just because this movie is based on a theme park ride. I mean, what story can you conjure out of a 20-minute theme park ride, right? I'd be hard-pressed to believe if there are fans of that park ride clamoring for a movie adaptation. So clearly this is on Disney, and the purpose of this movie is just to be a massive hit, you know, to be the next summer escapist entertainment, and that level the movie delivers. And this movie will remind you a lot of 2000 swashbuckling tales like The Mummy, Pirates of the Caribbean, and maybe throw in some Indiana Jones in there. When I look into the Wikipedia page, there are actually 5 credited writers here, and I'm just pleasantly surprised that the outcome of the movie didn't turn out to be something as dumb, because that is usually what happens when you got a lot of writers for a film, and it's just energetic, and you know, it banks on a lot of nostalgia. It shamelessly borrows these elements, but not in an annoying way. Maybe this type of familiarity, it can either go two ways. You can either feel that sense of comfort that you know what you're getting and that's what actually you're gonna get, and that can also play as a detriment to the film. What is the identity of this movie? And I took those two things into consideration, and I gotta say that you've probably seen this movie before just because of all these derivative elements, and arguably other films have done it better. There are a lot of ingredients here taken from the similar films that I mentioned, from character archetypes to plot points to action set pieces to produce this non-stop family action. But here's the thing, even if the spectacle and the action is non-stop, the often theme or element that's often underlooked when it comes to this family adventure film is the stakes, is the sense of danger, which I felt like the movie was lacking, because I never felt like these characters were truly in danger. And sometimes while watching, I felt like I'm not entirely sure why these things need to happen. Sure, there is an exposition dump in the third act and in the beginning of the film to learn more about the mythology from what this movie is built upon, but somehow I'm still not invested on that said mythology. I don't know, I'm just mostly in it for the star power and the charisma brought by its leads. Maybe another factor here is just I can't stop imagining them hanging out in this green screen, because this movie has a lot of animation, which rightfully the movie boasts, because this is the amount of millions of dollars that they spent, from production design to costume to animation. I wouldn't say that it's on the level of The Jungle Book or The Lion King in terms of its photorealisticness, but the animation here remains to be outstanding. So we get a lot of panorama settings here. It's very warm and bright, very much inviting for you to go outdoors. We also have a bunch of villains here. The most memorable ones are the Spanish conquistadors. If you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, in there they have these ghost pirates. In Jungle Cruise, the movie uses the same mold and swaps them out for undead Spanish conquistadors. We have here Édgar Ramírez. He's made of snake. Then his lieutenants, one is made of honeybee, one is made of tree branches, one is made of mud. It very much reminds me of Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. So I think it's very much creative. And then we also have here Jesse Plemons, this German prince who's also invested in getting the Tears of the Moon for himself. for world domination purposes, I guess. And yeah, this character seems to be something that I've already seen before, like a character that Christoph Waltz would play with all that mustache twirling and that thick accent. But I guess it fits for the overall tone of the movie to have this wacky villain. It does not take itself seriously. It's very much self-aware. We literally have here a German prince who's talking to a bunch of bees who can actually read a map. The thing though is this character, I feel like that they can scrap it for a shorter runtime and the whole journey will still be the same. I just felt like this movie went a bit too long for its 2-hour runtime. Maybe I would have felt that strain less if I watched this in the theater, but that's what I think while watching this movie, because there are some moments that I felt like the pace need to pick up, not because this movie is slow in terms of action, just in terms of plot progression, I guess. We also have here Paul Giamatti playing another caricature character with his sunburnt face and golden tooth. He has a parrot by his side. It's basically an extended cameo because he's not really much in the movie, and honestly, it feels like a waste to cast him in such a short role. But let's now focus on to the leads, because this is the strength of the movie. We have here the ever-reliable star power of Dwayne Johnson. He's not the most nuanced actor, but whenever he's cast in a movie, it's almost guaranteed that you're gonna have a fun time in it. I've never seen him play a character that I find annoying. It's always likable, and in here he literally spits dad jokes. He is a con artist. He's a bit of a morally ambiguous character, but I never find him unlikable, so I was rooting for him. And also Emily Blunt, she balances the silly humor and the adventurous side of her character. She's driven to find the thing that will help them in the advancement of their medicine, but at the same time it would be an extra incentive for her just to rub it on the faces of her sexist colleagues that anything that a man can do, a woman can also do. So these two actors, there's no doubt in my mind that they can hold this film just by themselves, but put them together, the movie automatically becomes irresistible. I also have to add to the chemistry here, MacGregor, played by Jack Whitehall, as the pampered and sheltered brother of Dr. Lily. The three of them, they have a good dynamic. But to circle back to the terrific duo of Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson, the thing is, I would have preferred if they remained platonic throughout the film. The movie kind of inserts something romantic and it feels a bit shoehorned and contrived for my taste. Yeah, I can see that they're clearly having fun together. They make it so easy and natural, but there's no sexual tension in there. That is something that I'm not automatically looking for in these types of Disney family-friendly films. I would have preferred if it remained platonic all throughout. And also, there's an inclusion of an LGBT representation here. I'm not gonna tell which character, but I think this is the first time that Disney handled a coming out scene. A character cryptically comes out, but it's handled in such a way that doesn't make a big deal out of it. So I like how they touched that part. It doesn't feel too tacked on. And yeah, overall, this movie is clearly brought by the star power of its leads. I know that this movie will excite a lot of people. It has the right amount of thrills. I felt like it lacks that sense of danger, and in no point of the movie I felt like I was moved, which is something that I kind of require for Disney films like this. Maybe they should have touched more on the colonialism undertones that they have here, just to add more depth behind the main premise of the movie. But overall, I did enjoy watching this movie. It's not something that I would watch again, probably. And am I be clamoring for a Disney Rideverse cinematic universe? Not really. I wouldn't be really clamoring for a Space Mountain movie adaptation after watching this show. But yeah, I'm just impressed that, you know, when it comes to movies like this, it's not tied into any other franchise and they make it serviceable enough. So for now, I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 5 stars. It might be low for some because if your goal is to have escapist fun, you're definitely gonna get it from here, and it does not require you a lot of thinking. So in that level, you will be enjoying this movie. But how about you guys? Let me know what you think in the comment sections down below. Also, if you enjoyed watching this video, hit that like button and subscribe to us for weekly content. Thank you so much guys for watching, and till then, I'll see you on the next one.